What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Suit Hines Show. And the Bengals get a huge, impressive, very nice win against the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round this past Sunday in Buffalo. Heading into this game, the Buffalo Bills were picked to win by 6 points. There was lots of snow, very cold game in Buffalo throughout this game. And, there was kind of, I'm not going to say there was a Bengal fans worry, but with the cold and snowy weather, the Bengals don't have a ton of familiarity playing in that game. I thought we were going to win 30-28, but I was kind of a little bit nervous because, like I said, we just don't play in the snow very often, cold weather very often. But man, the Bengals played start to finish absolutely amazing. They played phenomenal this game, start to finish. They are 100% the better team this game. Once again, throughout all of this year, throughout all of the last season, proving the doubters wrong. Once again, originally the spread was 3 points. And, the reason it was 3 points is because it's the Buffalo. And when you look at, betting and stuff like that, the home team gets a 3 points automatic advantage. And then people continue to pick Buffalo. I just don't understand that. It's really crazy. JM1, Houday, absolutely right. Houday, huge win on Sunday. So the Bengals win over the Buffalo Bills 27-10. The Bengals get the ball. The opening drive was kind of, I want to say strange, but they don't often get the ball to begin games sometimes. They march right down the field, played so freaking good on offense, so amazing on defense. Burrow found Chase on a 28-yard touchdown in the opening drive. The defense, their first possession on the field, they made this Buffalo offense look absolutely terrible. The Buffalo offense, their first drive, had a 3-and-out, and then our second possession, we ended up scoring again. All of a sudden, just with 10 minutes in this game, it's 14-0. You think the Bengals, this is going to be a long day for Buffalo, and it most certainly was. Burrow had another passing touchdown. This time it was to Hayden Hurst. Buffalo, their next possession offense was another 3-and-out. We get the ball back. We had 6 plays for 14 yards. Weren't able to really capitalize off another 3-and-out by Buffalo. The following possession with Buffalo, they get a scoring touchdown. It was a very nice drive. 15 plays, 75 yards. Took over 7 minutes. It was a Josh Allen rushing touchdown that made it 14-7. The following possession, the Bengals had a 14-play drive with over 60 yards. We had a McPherson field goal to make it 17-7. The Bills, they ended up punting their following drive, and then the following drive pretty much closed the first half. It made it 17-7 at halftime. We played very good the first half, and it was one of those situations where we've seen this several times this year. Like, it was 17-7. I was really excited that we were winning. But it's one of those times I didn't feel really comfortable that we were going to win the game, mainly because when you look at this season, even the past month or two, there's been certain games where we play so good, maybe the first half, then we absolutely play terrible the second half. Or maybe we play absolutely terrible the first half and we play amazing the second half. Just for a couple of examples, look at the first half of the Buccaneers game. We would have got shut out that first half, but McPherson made a field goal as time expired heading into the half. And then the second half, we scored like 28 points and humiliated the Buccaneers in offense and defense. That following week, we played the Patriots. The first half, once we started off, we played great in offense. It looked like it was going to be a long game for the Patriots. It looked like it was going to be a blowout, honestly. Burrow had about 250 passing in the first half, something like that. And then the second half, if it wasn't for a Stevenson fumble, we might have even lost that game. So at halftime, it was 17-7. But to me, I wasn't totally convinced that we were going to win the game because mainly there's been just so many instances and situations where we can play a great half of football. We cannot play a great full game of football. But playing a full game of football, was absolutely what the Bengals did on Sunday. They played start to finish, absolutely amazing. Like, it was really crazy. And you look at it, the Buffalo Bills, to start the second half, they had a field goal that made it 17-10, and then the Bengals answered back with another touchdown. This was a mix and run and made it 24-10. Buffalo had another 3-and-out, and then we got another field goal by McPherson. That was something else I was kind of a little bit nervous about, as when we've seen Evan McPherson kick this year, he has not been himself at all. I believe he's missed more extra points this year than he missed field goals last year, which is very uncharacteristic of him. I know some people will say, it's because, the long snapper, different long snapper. We don't have Clark Harris right now. But at this point, I don't think you can make that excuse. I was kind of nervous about McPherson because we've seen him miss some extra points. I mean, even last week in the wild card matchup against the Baltimore Ravens in our first playoff game this year, and with the when they're playing cold weather, snowy weather, that ball is like a rock. It's like a brick. It's so hard, and I was kind of surprised he made both of those field goals and extra points, honestly. But he made 2 field goals in this game. He made all of his extra points. So after those field goals, it was 27. After that field goal, it was 27-10. The Bills went for it on fourth down. Were unable to get it. We punt, and then the Bills. Final possession, Josh Allen threw an interception, and it was intercepted by Cam Taylor-Britt. He has played absolutely phenomenal this season. He is not being talked about enough, I feel like. He is not playing like a rookie at all. When you look at Cam Taylor-Britt, it looks like he's a guy who's been playing in the NFL for 3 or 4 years. Literally, ever since he started playing, each game he's been getting better. And I think his first game where he really got a lot of playing time was against the Browns on Monday Night Football, and that was our last loss. That last loss was on Halloween. Halloween night, we got humiliated on Monday Night Football. That was our first game without Chase. When he missed 4 games, that was the first one he was out. And ever since then, we've seen Cam Taylor-Britt play more snaps and meaningful snaps, and each game, literally, he's getting so much better. He's not playing like a rookie. He's done so well ever since Chidobe Awuzie got injured earlier this season. He's done great in the secondary. So when you look at this Bengals game, like I said, start to finish, they play fantastic on offense. They played phenomenal on defense, holding this Buffalo Bills team to 10 points. Very, very great job by Zach Taylor and Lou Anarumo. When you look at this Bengals team on offense here, Burrow was 23 of 36, 242, and 2 passing touchdowns. We were kind of waiting, in my opinion, to wait and see a great game by Burrow. I don't think Burrow played as good as people thought he did against the Ravens. And honestly, he's not played amazing as of late. He played a great half against the Patriots in the first half, but he didn't play great the second half. There's been a couple different games as of late he's not played like he should. I feel like this was a game, it's kind of weird, 23 of 36, 242 passing, and 2 touchdowns. Those aren't like crazy numbers. Those aren't numbers like holy crap, like that's insane. But I feel like he played much, much, much better than the stats indicate. He played very well this game. One of the better games he's played in a while against a good Bills defense in the snowy weather, harder to throw the ball. Very impressed with Burrow. But I was even more impressed with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon this season, up to this point, has only had 1 game with 85 rushing yards or more. That was the Carolina Panthers game where he had like 200 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Just a historic game for a running back in NFL history, a once-in-a-lifetime performance by any player. And he's just not been himself running on the ground. He's done pretty good, pass catching, but when it comes to rushing on the ground, he's just not been there at all. And, looking at this Bills game and Bengals game that was supposed to happen on January 2nd on Monday Night Football, obviously, was, postponed and later canceled, with the Damar Hamlin, injury and everything. Heading into that week, Joe Mixon basically took a shot at the Buffalo Bills linebacker core with Matt Milano and Edmonds saying they're good, but they're not the Ravens. To me, I thought that was really stupid. That was ignorant, and that's something you would not expect a veteran guy like Mixon to say. And I was kind of nervous this game that Mixon was not going to back it up because he's not really backed anything up this whole season except for that Panthers game. He's not lived up to the hype of being a top 10 running back like us Bengal fans have said he would be this season. But this game, 20 carries for 105 yards in a rushing touchdown, played phenomenal this game, was very impressed with him. And we, last week, me and Frank LaPlaca host the Unofficial Bengals podcast. We both talked about in this Bengals game, They have to get the running game established early because you don't want to put too much pressure on Burrow. That's exactly what they did. And we were both kind of talking about it's kind of concerning that we both figured that was going to happen. But with the lack of, being able to run the ball this season, we thought, Burrow was going to have to be passing 45 to 50 times this game. But that was not the case because Mixon finally got the running game going. It was great. Even, Samaje Perine, he had 7 carries for 33, and Burrow had over 30 rushing yards as well. We were able to run the ball so effectively this game, and I think that's part of the reason why we are just really unstoppable on offense. I mean, Burrow was very good, and we had over 170 rushing yards as well. When you look at Jamar Chase, 5 receptions, 61, and a touchdown. Hayden Hurst, 5 receptions, 59, and a touchdown. Hurst has been absolutely phenomenal. It's so funny to me when you look at national media, analysts, when we lost Uzomah in the offseason, that was one of their excuses for why we were not going to be as good. Oh, we lost CJ Uzomah. Hurst has played better this season than Uzomah ever has. Like, I would much rather have Hayden Hurst than Uzomah. If you'd rather have Uzomah, you're crazy. Hurst is so much better in everywhere. Samaje Perine also had over 30 receiving yards as well. He had 5 receptions. Higgins, 3 for 25. Boyd, 1 for 23. Mixon, 2 for 18. Trent Irwin, 1 for 13. And Mitchell Wilcox, 1 for 9. We got the ball spread it around everywhere. And that's what I've said before. If you get everybody involved, this offense is hard to beat. If you have 2 or 3 catches from Boyd, 4 or 5 catches from Higgins, if you have Hayden Hurst with tied for the most receptions, odds are you're going to get more people involved. When you get more people involved, this offense is very difficult to stop, especially when you also have 170 rushing yards. I feel like this Bengals offense just probably had its most complete game this season. I know it might be debatable, but we just played so great when it came to Burrow throwing and on the ground, running and everything by, Mixon, Perine, and Burrow. They all did pretty good running. This defense, like I said, played freaking phenomenal. Gave up 10 points to Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Von Bell had a sack. 2 quarterback hits from Mike Hilton. Holy crap. He was amazing this game. It literally seemed like every single time you saw Mike Hilton on the field, he was making a huge play, whether it was tackle for loss, a pass deflection, a quarterback hit, whatever it may have been. Every single play, it seemed like Mike Hilton was stepping up. He's a guy who's been in the playoffs before, even before he came to Cincinnati. One of the more players in our secondary who has more experience. Some of these other guys like Cam Taylor-Britt, but he's played so great this postseason. Even look at the Ravens game. He did not play a ton of snaps against Baltimore, but it seemed like every single time you saw him on the field, he was making huge impact plays for the Cincinnati defense. Like I said, Cam Taylor-Britt had a couple of pass deflections, had an interception as well. Very nice play from Cam Taylor-Britt once again. You look at this defense. Like I said, it was very impressive. Evan McPherson had 2 field goals throughout this game. I was kind of surprised, honestly, he made both in those extra points because with it being kind of a snowy, cold game. Looking at this Buffalo Bills offense, Josh Allen 25 42, 265 in an interception. At what point is Lou Anarumo going to get the national recognition he deserves? I know he was on the Pat McAfee show today, but he's not getting interviewed for jobs. He got interviewed for the Giants last year. He's not got interviewed for any jobs this year. I don't understand. I'll take it because I want Lou Anarumo on his coaching staff. I want Lou Anarumo as the Bengals defense coordinator. As long as he's coaching in the NFL, I want him with the Bengals. He has done such a great job. He does not get the credit he deserves. Week after week, he's making a better resume to become a head coach in the NFL. He has done a phenomenal job for this Bengals defense. I don't think it's hot take at all to say he might be the best defense coordinator in the league right now. Stopping Josh Allen. He's stopped Patrick Mahomes 3 times. He's the first really defense coordinator to figure out Lamar Jackson. He has done wonders for this Bengals defense. When you look at this Bills run game here, Josh Allen 8 attempts for 26 yards and a touchdown. Singletary 6 for 24. James Cook 5 for 13. 19 carries for 63 yards. 3.3 yards per carry. It's pretty nice for this Bengals defense. Josh Allen, like I said, 25-42 and an interception. He did not have a passing touchdown. Very great play by the Bengals defense. Dawson Knox, 5 receptions for 65. Devil Singletary, 5 receptions for 38 yards. Stephon Diggs had 4 receptions for 35 yards. Eli Apple played absolutely amazing this game. I know the national media hates Eli Apple. Eli Apple, to me, I think he's good. I don't think he's quite as good as Bengal fans think. I think Bengal fans overrate him a little bit, but the lack of respect that national media gives him is just ridiculous. He is much, much, much better than the people on NFL Network and people on ESPN think. He's a reliable corner. He's been a really nice player for this Bengals defense this year and last year. I mean, holding some of these great receivers to such few yards is truly remarkable. And it's crazy because when you look at Eli Apple, last season, Eli Apple had a better man-to-man PFF grade last season than Jalen Ramsey. Many people consider Jalen Ramsey the best corner in the league. So Eli Apple does not get the credit he deserves. I know he gets, burnt sometimes occasionally, but everybody loves to talk about when he does something bad. Nobody really ever talks about stuff when he does something good. This Bills defense had 1 sack. It was by Matt Milano. Milano had 10 tackles, and Tremaine Edmonds had 12 tackles. And one final thing, talking about this game, we've heard the whole week, the Bengals have 3 starters out on the offensive line. They have 3 starters going up against this Bills defense. They're going to get sacked. Burrow's going to get sacked. He's going to be pressured. The Bengals are going to lose. This Bills defense is going to be amazing against this Bengals offense. 27 points. Burrow was sacked 1 time. Seriously, this offensive line, I've said the whole freaking year. I'm not saying it's elite, but it's so much better than people think. 3 starters on the offensive line. Jonah Williams is hurt. These are just casual fans who know nothing about the Bengals. When you talk about 3 starters who are hurt for Cincinnati, and you start talking about there's so many people who are injured, Jackson Carman played freaking amazing. He played better against Buffalo on Sunday than I've ever seen Jonah Williams play. I said the whole offseason, I'm one of the very few people who, when not start talking about, Jonah Williams has never lived up to the first-round hype at all. People really gave him a pass up to this point. He leads the league in most sacks allowed this season. He's gave up 13 sacks this year. That is ridiculous. That should never happen for a guy who was a first-round pick and you picked up his 5th-year option. But this idea that our offensive line is going to suck because Jonah Williams is out, that doesn't make any sense to me. My expectations were kind of low for Jackson Carman because he hasn't lived up to the 2nd-round, pick just from a couple of years ago in the 2021 draft. But, he's not really had very many valuable snaps this year. He played last week in the Baltimore game when Jonah Williams got hurt. But Jackson Carman, to me, played freaking fantastic. Everybody loves to talk about Burrow and Mixon throughout this game. They played great. Everybody needs to be talking about how good Jackson Carman played. I don't care if Jonah Williams is healthy this week against the Chiefs. Jackson Carman should 100% start at left tackle. I don't think it's a debate. I don't know how you can debate it. Jonah Williams has done absolutely nothing to prove that he should start this week if he's healthy over Jackson Carman. Jackson Carman's first ever start at left tackle for the Bengals was better than any start I've ever seen from Jonah Williams' start for the Bengals, and he's been with us since 2019. This is crazy. Bengal fans are ready to give up on Carman this past offseason, with the allegations with him and everything. Honestly, I was too. I've never been a big fan of Carman. I've not really been a big fan of Jonah Williams, but when you look at it, Carman, to me, you got to go with the hot hand here. And if Jonah Williams is healthy, I don't care. You're starting Jackson Carman at left tackle. I don't think it's a debate at all. But his offensive line is so much better than people think. When you look at since Halloween, that was their last loss. When you take away the Baltimore game on the wild card matchup, that was the only time Burrow has been sacked 3 times or more. Take away that playoff game. Burrow has not been sacked 3 times or more since Halloween. 3 months ago, our last loss. It's not a coincidence when you look at our success as of late is because our offensive line is playing so much better than people think. And, our way our offensive line has been, it's been phenomenal. We've played phenomenal as of late. We look like one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And we're going to take on the Chiefs once again in the AFC Championship game this week in Kansas City. Cannot wait for that game. Probably talking about that in a video maybe in a day or so. But huge victory over the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. The Bengals defeat Buffalo 27-10 in the AFC divisional round matchup in the postseason. But that kind of about does it for this video. If you're new to the channel or if you've seen my videos before, I would really, really appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Sports Dude Hines Show.